Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here, looking at some of the strangest and most confusing cards around. Not overly complex confusing, but confusing because most duelists have no idea how to use these cards in a practical sense. Now just for the record, I'm not saying that these cards are necessarily bad, just extremely difficult to use effectively. So much so that almost no one even bothers, despite some actual benefits. These are the cards that definitely leave you vexed whenever you're trying to deck build. So without further ado or banter, this is the top 10 most gimmicky cards of all time, the Yugioh hierarchy. Number 10, Blasting Fuse. We start off our list with a card that can only be activated under some of the rare situations you could think of and with minimal gain. Blasting Fuse can destroy 3 cards on the field, which is nice, but the problem is those 3 cards have to be in the same column at the same exact time, which is extremely situational. And of course, one of those destroyed cards will be the player who activated the card in the first place. You'd sooner be struck by lightning than benefit from this card. Number 9, Darkness Approaches. Everyone loves cards that break game mechanics, right? I know I do. Well, that's exactly what Darkness Approaches does. Maybe the most inefficient way of switching a monster's battle position, this card actually allows monsters to be put in the very rarely seen face-down attack position, which is not only odd, but I'm sure creates absolute ruling nightmares. Number 8, Cold Feet. Remember how amazing Cold Wave was back in the GX and 5Ds days? Yeah, this card is absolutely nothing like that. A card that must have been designed solely for sadists, Cold Feet only punishes the player who activates the card. How locking yourself out of spell and traps for a turn can actually benefit you is beyond me. Number 7, Present Exchange. Exchanging cards with your opponent isn't really a new effect or strategy for that matter. Heck, in mirror matches, a card like Exchange can actually have some decent uses, especially for example, stealing powerful limit cards from your opponent's hand. Present Exchange, however, is a different story as your opponent gets to choose what they actually give to you. So in almost all situations, you can expect to get the crappiest card in their entire deck. Number 6, Dark Sage. Often referred to as one of the most difficult monsters in the game to summon, Dark Sage's creation was clearly for the sole purpose of having an interesting duel in the manga or the anime. Dark Sage not only requires you to tribute a Dark Magician on the field, but it also requires you to not only run Time Wizard, but to have them both simultaneously under your control, and more absurdly, to resolve Time Wizard's effect correctly at the same time. Holy crap, that is a lot. I guess on the plus side though, it can be special summoned from the deck. Number 5, Relay Soul. A card that literally lets you put all your eggs in the one basket. Relay Soul does stop you from taking all forms of damage, which in actuality is pretty damn powerful. On the flip side, the monster that you link to Relay Soul had better be very important and probably needs to win you the game, because when it leaves the field, you lose the duel. Now that is risk and reward. Number 4, Convulsion of Nature. Information on your opponent's resources is often considered to be invaluable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of the game's most powerful and disruptive cards give you access to just that. Cards like Trap Dust Shoot, Forceful Sentry, or Mind Crush, but Convulsion of Nature is on an entirely different level, allowing both players the ability to see everything their opponent is going to throw at them before the cards are even drawn. This is indeed very unique. Number 3, Parasite. This is one of the strangest card designs to date. In a game where flip effects are all over the place, this one in my opinion definitely takes the cake. Parasite is a flip effect that, get this, goes into your opponent's deck, face up at that, and then upon being drawn, inflicts burn damage to the player who drew it, then special summons itself to the field and turns all monsters into, well, you guessed it, insects. Now, because of shuffling issues with potential soft cheating, the card is never really actually seen play. Number 2, Heroic Gift. In a game that constantly asks its duelists how much they want the cards by attaching strings and hoops to jump through to obtain said cards, Heroic Gift far exceeds cards like Pot of Cupidity or Card of Demise. Heroic Gift does indeed grant you 2 new draws, but at the same time, it literally takes your opponent from Precipice of Defeat to Second Wind and Renewed Vigor. If you feel confident that life points don't matter, go for it. Honorable mentions include Reversal Quiz, Last Turn, Destiny Board, and Jackpot 7. Finally, to our numero uno, Yugioh Friendship. Full disclosure, Yugioh Friendship is one of my favorite cards in the entire game, from its laughably ridiculous effect to the good sportsmanship that the card represents, and of course, the fact that it is one of the only cards that I can think of that actually encourages physical contact with your opponent. Better yet, if you hold a copy of another equally obscure card in your hand, your opponent doesn't even get a choice in the matter. All that combined with the fact that we also get anime characters in the artwork, I mean, what more could you ask for out of a card? So let me know, were there any gimmicky cards that should have made this list? What's your favorite card with a crazy effect? Leave that in the comment section below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Subscribing makes life happy.